Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem, Mordechai made it today. Baruch Hashem. Okay. So today we're gonna continue in our Sefer Uspartem Lachem, and then we're gonna go back to Likutey Halachos, of course. So today is Hayom Shnayim ve'Esrim Yom Shehem Shloisha Shavuos ve'Yom Echad L'Omer. Today is the 22nd day of the Omer, which is 3 weeks and 1 day. And today is the day of Chesed Shebenetzach. Right? We're going during the 7 weeks. We go through the seven Sefirot, right at the 7 Sefirot, right? And each week we cross-reference the next one. We move up, right? So that's what we're doing. So now we're up to Chesed Shebenetzach, right? And the Refresh says today is think deeply in all the actions that you do, that come upon you, that you're involved with, of chesed and ahava. Anything that you do with chesed, kind acts, ahava with pertaining to love. Shepoyel Hashem Yisborach im ama Yisrael bechlal ve'imay beprat. So think about all the wonderful things that Hashem does for Klal Yisrael as a whole, as a nation, as a people, and what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for us in our own personal lives, right? All the wonderful things Hashem does for us in our personal lives. It's amazing when you really take the time to think, and you really try to touch on all the different things that we have in our lives. It's unbelievable. Our families, our homes, that we have our community. It's like it's wonderful what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has granted us and gives us constantly. It's just something so special. So spend a little time and to be mizbaining, think deeply about it. It's nice to use that word, mizbaining, right? Mizbaining means to think deeply about it. It doesn't mean just to think, but it means to think deeply about it. Because unless you take the time to think deeply about it, it all becomes you take it for granted, right? But it's so important. And our Kodesh Baruch Hu, the idea is he can use that to assist you in order to be successful over the yetzer, to conquering the yetzer. In other words, when you realize how good HaKadosh Baruch Hu is and all the chesed He does for you, so how could you give in to the yetzer? What's He doing for you? It's so nice. It's so nice to say, so easy, but it's so deep, right? When you really spend the time thinking about all what Hashem gives us, then how could you ever think of listening to the yetzer? How could you think of it? What are you giving me? Look what Hashem is giving me. Look, what are you giving me? You're giving me aggravation. It's, right? You want to say something, Ellie? Yeah?
Yeah, it's the difference between looking at things that are momentary and looking at things that are really foundational and that last forever. And very often we tend to look at, we're like little kids. Like, I want it and I want it now. So I see what's in front of me, and I don't pay attention to what's real. And so I eat the candy bar, and 5 minutes later, the candy bar didn't taste as good as I thought it tasted, and I see that I'm causing myself some problems. but come the next time, I still want the candy bar.
I still want it again.
Yeah, and I have to fight it till I wake up.
Right, but even in that example, but if you think about, the person thinks about his health, right, and he's constantly has that on his mind, his health. Right. So he'll say, my health. Over the candy bar,
right? If I'm mature,
the more a person thinks about what's important in life, right? That's what we're coming out with, right? Like even in your example, right? The person thinks, "Wow, my health is so important to me because I need my health to live." Right. So if that's on his mind, that's the first thing on his mind. Right. In that case, so then the candy bar, okay, it's nice. Maybe I'll have a little taste of the candy bar, but I don't need the whole thing. Right. It's not good for me.
But there are people starving in China. I have to eat the whole thing.
We all have traumas from childhood. We're being told this. Yes.
I'm sorry. However, The yetzer isn't evil. I mean, thank you for showing up when I needed you so I could correct myself.
Okay, okay, Mordechai. Again, we're discussing, this is the week of Netzach. So we learned that Netzach means set the yetzer aside. You're not my friend. I know, you're there, you're not my friend. Right? And they say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Yeah.
Right? You're my enemy. I know you're my enemy. You're my ultimate enemy. The yetzer is my ultimate, all of us. Right? He's trying to get us. He's our ultimate enemy. Right? But you have to know that. So just know where he is. And again, every time he tries to tell you something, if you're working on thinking about the chesed of Hashem, right, or your health, or of course, health is part of the chesed Hashem, right? That we have our health. That's one of the things. Omer Efrat, like he said, all the things that Hashem does for me specifically, right? For Klal Yisrael, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu sets up even health systems, right? That we have a beautiful health system here in Eretz Yisrael. It's wonderful. Right? It's really wonderful what we have over here. And people have that all over in all communities. I think we have a little bit better, Baruch Hashem, but but we have to thank Hashem for these things. Okay, Kedugmas Masha Amru, Rotza Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Zakes Yisrael. Every time you finish learning a piece of Torah, right, and you want to say a Kaddish, so you have to say the Mishnah. It's the Mishnah in Makos, right? And we say these words and we know these. So what does it mean? Rotza Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Zakes Yisrael. What does it mean? HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to make us meritorious. He wants to make us successful. He wants us to be successful. So what does he do? Lefichach hirba lehem Torah mitzvahs. Therefore, he gave us a lot of Torah and a lot of mitzvahs. Beautiful, beautiful, right? He gave us a lot of Torah and mitzvahs. I was always the mitzvah of Ben Saira and Meira, right? So Chazal say that there's never going to be a Ben Saira and Meira, right? But that's the rebellious kid before he's 13.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I don't remember who it was in the Gemara. It says that I was on the cave. I was on his grave. I was on his grave. So really, what does that mean?
What?
He was on his grave. There was a Ben Sorah Mora.
Okay.
It was one of these rebellious children.
Yeah.
Right? And he says, so the rabbis are saying there's no such a, there never was and there never will be such a child. But then the other rabbi says, no, but I was on his grave. So how do you work that out? That's a problem in mitzvahs. Right here, that's a problem actually in how do you say in mitzvahs? That's like in
reality.
In reality, yeah, perfect, right? There's a problem. Yeah, did it happen or did it not happen? So really, what it was is he was supposed to be a Ben Saira and Meira. He was supposed to be a Ben Saira and Meira, but he overcame it. He overcame it. He had that potential to be that Ben Saira and Meira. And he overcame it. He became a great person. And that's what he was on the grace. But you understand, unbelievable. I spent a lot of time studying that because how do you work that out? How do you work the mitzvahs out? It's a problem, like you said, in reality. How do you work it out, right? Unbelievable. All right, so anyway, so that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu said again. So then why? And then so the Chazal say, why did I mention that over here? Because Chazal say they gave us in order to give us more Torah, so we can study more Torah, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give us more schar. I mean, it's a very interesting thing if you think about it. I mean, we have so much Torah. Right? I mean, and even if we spend 5 lifetimes. Right? A person had 5 lifetimes. Go through all the Torah that we have, all the Sfarim that we have, go to his Sfarim and say, unbelievable, all the Sfarim. Wow, Sasha. Oh, Baruch haba. Wow. How are you, Sasha? Baruch Hashem. Welcome back. Wow. Okay. Right. So in other words, all these things that Hashem does for us, He just wants to give us more Torah so we have more schar. He wants us to have more schar, but to take deep lessons out of it. So in other words, like we said with the Ben Saramur, he was supposed to be the Ben, but he overcame it. It's just something that's so special to understand. No, as a person has, they say, why Moshe Rabbeinu? Why was he Anav Mikol Adam? Why was he the great tzaddik? Because the Zohar says that Moshe Rabbeinu was born with every negative tendency possible.
Oh boy.
And he overcame every single negative tendency. That made him the great person. And we think that he was born perfect and everything. So no, he earned it. He earned it. Okay, Kidei shebekoicham yinotzchu liyitzram. And I was in all because you use the Torah in order to be menatzeh, to be victorious over the yetzer. K'may shamru amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu barasi yetzer hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says in the Gemara in Kedushin, barasi yetzer hara, I created the yetzer hara. Barasi loy Torah tavlin, but I made the Torah as the antidote. I think that's a good word, right? Is that a good word? You like that?
Yeah.
Tavlin actually means like spices. Right, but in this case, I think we're going to use the word antidote. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the antidote to the yetzer is to learn Torah. So if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us more Torah, so we can fill our minds, like we're learning in Likutey Halachos, right? The whole idea, fill your mind in the morning with Torah. By doing that, so then when you daven, those words will cause a thunder in the mind, which causes it to send down all the good stuff into the heart, to be miyasha the heart, because the heart's crooked. And if you want to have simcha, you have to straighten out the heart. Okay?
So I think that what you said helped clarify something. Because,
okay.
like you were going through the thing where I was standing on his grave, and you're thinking about this. The one I think about is, how can evil, Hashem created evil. He doesn't create bad stuff. So this evil is good, and it's bad, and we have an antidote.
Yeah, no. Hashem makes no. We have to separate the good from the evil. There is good in evil. That's the little. There's something. There's something in there to keep it have an existence. But we don't have to. We don't go to that. We stay away from it.
But then, how do you wrestle the fact that Hashem created it, and it's good?
Okay.
How do you?
Well, Hashem created cyanide also. I mean, but we don't use it, right?
Okay.
We don't use it. He made it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We don't want these other things. We don't need them.
Right, it has a purpose, but the purpose is that it's something that you stay away from. Right?
But you elevate that thing by not getting involved in it. That's how you can elevate it. It's there. We learned. Okay, let's go back. We learned, what did we learn? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu created during the 6 days of creation, he broke the vessels, and then he had sent down the shards into the world, so that way we can have, there could be the reality of saying that there's no God, right? So we can have Bechira, so we can have free choice. Hashem wants us to have free choice. If everything was good, so then what are you going to choose? He wants us to have the choice of good and bad, and we pick the good.
Right.
We don't pick the bad. We pick the good.
Right.
You follow? Right? But that's why the bad is there, so we can make that differentiation.
Well, yeah, so it's like you have pain, so you know what it's like to not have pain.
Yeah. Right, so then that's what we say. You have to be misbeinen and thank Hashem, because if a person had pain, and then he got healed, so that's part of that is bonus, thanking Hashem for the things that he did for you specifically, for that person that was healed, right? The person was dealing with a difficult ailment. He had a big ailment, and then he saw salvation today. That's an amazing thing, right? Okay. Yeah. Where if a person didn't experience that, he wouldn't know how to thank Hashem for it. I mean, like I told you guys, I go all the time. I have to go to meetings in these hospitals, and I have to go through these wards and different things with these directors, whatever it is, and I see it. My goodness, and I always say thank you, Hashem, that I could just walk through here. Mm-hmm. Wow. Right. No, there were some. You see some young people. I mean, very young people, and that are very, very sick. Very sick. Okay, when you see very elderly people, we understand it. But when you walk into hospital, you see very young people. Very young people that are very sick with all machines attached to them. It's scary. But it doesn't have to be. But I believe, why is that? You could walk through, and I could walk and say, thank you, Hashem. Wow. Like I told you, I thank Hashem that I can go there to provide them service, and I don't need service from them. What a chesed Hashem. What a chesed Hashem. Okay, so that's okay. Shalom. And then we went on to Masech the Sukkah. He's bringing down that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't assist us, we couldn't do it. We need Hashem to assist us. And that's why we say every morning we get up early by Chatzoi. We get up early and we fill the mind. And then we said that's like going to Olam Haba, because that's where we said, the way we said, Hanor Yotzei Me'eden, right? Hanor Yotzei Me'eden. That's the way that we said that the rain comes down into our hearts, right? It was we fill our minds with all of these things. That's Hashem helping us. That's how we get that assistance during the day. Okay, Eina Yachal Loi Velachein B'Yosei Noisen Alibai Shechesed Hashem Yisbarach Imay Lo'Izroi. So then you come to the conclusion that Hashem gives me this chesed in order to help me. He's doing this to help me. He gives me the chesed to help me, so I could be successful, so I could think about the chesed to advance me closer, to become closer to Hashem, closer to the Torah, closer to Klal Yisrael, closer to Eretz Yisrael. Right? All the things to bring me closer to what's important in life. Yovai bazeh lenetzach es yitzray. Lenetzach el yitzray. So the person can come and can conquer the yetzer v'nimsa shemashlu amasa gets nitzchonai bezbainunoi bechazdai shel bayrei. So you can work on it. It says the more his bainin as a person thinks about the chesed. Right, the more so that's the way he'll use that to expose the yetzer for who he is. So he could see it blatantly. He knows who he is, and he says, "I'm not going to be involved with him." So the more you thank Hashem, the more we thank the Rebbeinu Shalom, and we think about the Rebbeinu Shalom, the more we can be successful on fighting the yetzer and doing what we have to do. It's wonderful. The way he knows each week, each of the spheres, how refresh he goes through it based on the teachings of the Zohar, of course, right? So now we're the week of Netzah, so we're going to be working with the yetzer all week, and we're going to see different ways on how to fight the yetzer. Because really, when we have to be menatzeach, we're working to be menatzeach on the yetzer. That's because once we have that victory, we're pretty good. Okay, now we did a lot.
What are we saying about the person when you walk through the hospital, you see these young people that are very sick?
Yeah.
Don't they have to be thankful in some way?
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about me at that time. Okay, I say a capital tillim as I'm walking through the hospital. I do that. To help these people. I don't know who they are. I have no idea, right? And they have these cuckoo HEPA laws, right? You can't, know the people's names, right? And all of this stuff over there. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But that's not the point. I'm just trying to explain to you that, sometimes if a person thinks that things aren't going well in his life and this and that, just, what you do? Go take a ride over to any hospital.
Yeah.
That time when you think things are so terrible, go ride over to a hospital and walk through one of the wards. Go take a walk. And you think, how bad is life? How bad is real life really? Because again, whenever, and I always think, I've spoken to a lot of people about this, no matter what financial person a person has, whatever he has, right? Most people are depressed because they have financial issues, right? So could you imagine if that person was sick and had that financial issue? Right? The person's laying in the hospital, chas v'sholom, and he has that same problem. How much more magnetized that problem is then? So you think for a second, so I have this problem. Okay, fine. I'll deal with it. Well, I'll daven to Hashem. I'll get to what's the big deal? Hashem will give me my parnas if I daven. Right? We just have to hope and pray to Hashem. That's what it is. That was the reason I said that, okay? I didn't mean it for any other reason.
No, I understand that completely. But then
Okay.
I in my thinking, I think about, well, what about that person who's...
Oh, okay, the person, okay, that's okay. Again, when I'm looking at that, when I'm going through there, in my mind, I'm making that separation the same way that this is good and this is bad. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm doing it like that. I can't, again, like we said, that because the person has to understand, B'shvili nivra olam, right? So I have to, because the world was created for me, so then I have to daven for the world. So then by saying the Kapitel Tehillim, I'm doing what I feel, I'm doing my part, because again, what am I supposed to do? So more than that, say Kapitel Tehillim, I think that's, right? I mean, do you agree, Ellie? Do you want to does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's difficult, but I'm telling you, but it's such an amazing thing to walk through these places and to use that as the springboard to thank Hashem. For what you see, thank the Rebbeinu Shalom for what you see, right? Yeah, the other day, I'll tell you something interesting. The other day, when I came back from Prague, I was away, right? So on the plane, there was a German guy that got beaten up that time when he went into. What was the city where he went into? Hara, whatever it was. Yeah, cursed place. Okay. anyway. So he was. So he was talking to us, and he said that he really had no idea. He really had no idea. He's just a German guy. He's a journalist, and he works here, has a work permit over here. And he had no idea that these guys were, he thought that, the world says they're good guys, right? He thought, so he went in there and he wanted to get a coffee, he said. Yeah. He wanted to get a coffee. That's all he was trying to do. Wow. He was driving, he wanted to get a coffee. I think it was Shabbos, but whatever it was, it doesn't matter. Think about it. It was also on, I think it happened on Shabbos, this thing.
I don't remember.
I think it did. So even they didn't think it was a Jewish.
Right.
Mamash a goy, mamash a German guy.
Right.
Then he got beat up by.
Oh my gosh! They destroyed this car. He had to rent the car. They destroyed the car, and he's having a lot of problems now. He said with the rental car company. Yeah. Unbelievable.
It was good that he had that experience.
No, he went back and he told them that, hey guys, you're making a mistake.
Yeah, because I'm a journalist. You got big problems. Yeah.
He's singing a different tune now.
That's funny.
Yeah, okay. And then let's just do Kinyan Torah, because again, that's very important today. So today is Be'emunas Chachamim. Right? If you want to be kind of Torah, again, it's Be'emunas Chachamim. And what is that? Believing in the Chachamim, the teachings of the Chacham. Of course, how could you be kind of Torah if you don't believe in the Chachamim? Because all we have is all the teachings from the rabbis. Right? And so the main thing is always to have emunas chacham, like we say, Misham Viftach La Tzadikim. We say it in the Shmon Esrei, right? We daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we ask him that we should be able to believe in the chacham. Vayaminu b'Hashem u'v'maisha avdai, right? Every day we say these things, right? Emunas chachamim. It's such an important thing to believe in the teachings of the chacham. Okay, so you want to say something, Eli? No. Okay. So let's just. There's a lot more I know. But again, we just wanted to touch on something, on the day. So, and because now let's go back into Likutey Halachos, okay? Really, we can have a 2-hour class every day on just the Sefira.
And many other topics too.
Yeah, we could
be here for multiple lifetimes.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I heard someone say that this morning.
Yeah, and we still won't. Even if we have a 5 light, we still won't get everything done. But that's what we just have to keep trying. We got to keep trying. Okay, so we're in Likutey Halachos Tefillin. Okay, and we're in Halacha Dalid, and we were middle of letter Beis, right? We're middle of Beis, and then we had to stop yesterday because the moratorium that we have. Okay, anyway, it's all good. So where should we pick it up now? We learned, we did, okay, so Vazai Yotzer Yisrael Mechametz Lamatzah, right? Do you see where that is? Vazai? It's towards the very end of Beis. It's maybe like the last column. Vayadei Shehika Hashem is called B'chayrim Mitzrayim.
Okay.
You see that? And then, okay, so we did. So we'll start back over there. Okay, we'll start from there. Validate. Okay, you have the place, Sash? Okay, yeah. Okay. Ki al yedei shehika Hashem kol b'chayrim Mitzrayim V'echnia hadas the sitra acher. Right? We were talking about this. The idea is that we said that Esav is the sar shel Mitzrayim. Right? Esav is the sar of Mitzrayim. The angel of Mitzrayim. Every nation has their own angel. Right? Their own angel. And the sar shel Mitzrayim is Esav. That's what he said from the Zohar. He brought that down. Yeah, the other day when I was with Rabbi Kramer, so he was saying that there's a teaching that actually Russia, the sar shel of Russia is actually the Samach Mem. Is the Samach Mem himself, and he said that it's a very interesting thing that you see for the first time that Russia is actually not being successful in what they wanted to do. Right? All the time, Russia was always successful, right? They had the power of Russia, right? But now they're trying to get down these Ukrainian guys, and they're falling like flies. So Mitzvah Hashem, that's that's a hint that the Samach Mem is on his way down. He's on his way down. The Mitzvah Hashem. Okay. All right, so we said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was machnia the Bechorei Mitzrayim. Again, why did he pick the Bechorei Mitzrayim? Because we learned that really the advisors of the Mitzri of Parai were actually the Bechorim. The Bechorei Mitzrayim were actually the advisors of Parai. You remember we learned that? Because the Bechorim was the other upper echelon of people, right? They were very, very important. So they were automatically the advisory cabinet of Parai. And we said that Amalek that comes from Asa, right? That's his grandson, right? Right. So Amalek was the one that was feeding the information to the Bechorim that they can be successful and don't pay attention to the Makkahs. You'll be successful. And then they gave that to Parai. And they told that to Parai. And that was the vehicle, because it says HaKadosh Baruch Hu was a hichsik slave Parai, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu hardened his heart. How did he harden him? Using the Bechorim, which was stemming from Amalek. Unbelievable to understand that. So why did Hashem pick the Bechorim? You ever think? People don't think about it. They would just take it for granted. Oh, Hashem picked the Bechorim. He killed all the firstborn. But why did he pick the firstborns? Why did he pick the firstborn, right? Interesting, right? From the firstborn of animals and bird, firstborn of everything died. The firstborns of everything died, except for the Bechorei Yisrael. So we're going to see the significance of that in a minute, okay? The Sitrach, okay. Va'azai, and why? Because he wanted to be machnia. He wanted to subdue the das of the Sitracher, the das of the other side. All that information that Hashem is not running the world, that it's all happenstance and all of that stuff. He wanted to subdue that. Okay? And he wanted to this gaber hadas the kedusha, and then again, if you push down all the other side, so of course the das of kedusha is raised up. Right? You push down the other information, so of course the other side of kedusha comes up. Okay, bechinas b'chayri Yisrael, bechinas b'ni b'chayri Yisrael. And what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us when we were in Mitzrayim? B'ni b'chayri Yisrael. Again, why did Hashem use this term? Right? B'ni b'chayri Yisrael. Why can't he just say b'ni ahavi Yisrael or something? Why b'chayri Yisrael? Right? Then my firstborn, my first one, the first. Interesting, right? The Lashon. Okay, v'azayin iskayim ge'as chayas kona. And then it came about this idea that the das of kedusha was able to be called. It was able to be called, like we said, a bechar. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu was able to be shomer. We said the kona, the reed. When we were talking about that reed, we were talking about the reed that the Malach Gavriel came when Parai, when Shlomo Melech married Bas Parai. Right? So he came, the Gemara says he came and he stuck a reed in the sea, and then from there it evolved Rome. Remember, right? Yeah. So that was the kana that we're talking about, the kana, right? This kana, the reed, okay, which was, okay. And Esav is also called like the chaya, right? Esav is called, like it says, Ga'as chaya kana, right? So Esav is also called the Chaya. He's the wild guy. He's the whatever. Okay, because he's the Bechor, the Sitrach of Azai. Yotzer Yisrael mechometz lamatzah. And then we were able to go out of the chometz because we said that the ches from look at the way he from cheas koner, right? So we broke the ches, right? We broke the ches. We break the ches, right? And when you break the ches, what happens? You make the little hole on the top, right? On the left side, you make that little hole, right? And then what do? You can take the matzah, which is mem tzadik hey, instead of chometz, which is ches mem tzadik, right? Same letters. The only difference is that little spot, the little dot there. Okay, bechinas konach he has to shaber, and he broke it. He broke the ches in order to give us the matzah. That's what it means. He went out from chometz, and we went to matzah because again, Hakadosh Baruch Hu was machnia the das, the sitracha. Hakadosh Baruch Hu was machnia the das of the other side, of all the impurity of the mind, and which means he raised up the side of kedusha because you knocked down the other side, so the side of impurity can go up. And when you raise up the side of purity, so then that's knocking the hole in the chametz, which is the chametz, which says the chametz shebeisa. That's all the yetzer hara. It's all the other side. And when we come to matzah's emuna, right? And that's what okay. All right. Now there's so much we could talk about it, but okay. But we're in Hilchos Tefillin, so we'll just keep it like that. V'zeh bechinas v'lo yireh l'cho chametz. Hanemba b'parshas Kadesh Li Kol Bechor. So we have 4 parshas in our Tefillin, right? The first parsha in our Tefillin is Kadesh Li Kol Bechor, right? Kadesh Li Kol Bechor. That's the first parsha, the 4 parshas in our Tefillin. All right, it's very interesting that that's the first parsha, right? She parsha Rishonim Shebetfillin. That's the first one, and according to everybody, that's the first one. Everyone agrees that that's the first one. And why is that? Ki gazeh bechinas gaar chayas koneh, and that's the idea that you shouldn't have the chametz, that the koneh he broke it and he broke the ches in order to make the hay. Shezeh ba'atzmai bechinas harigas b'chayri mitzrayim. That is an actual the smiting of the firstborns of the Egyptians, sheim bechinas bechor the sitra achra, because that's the bechor the sitra achra. Bechinas Esav, that's an aspect of Esav. Esav is the bechor the sitra achra, right? Esav is the bechor the sitra achra, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu got rid of, and we said Yaakov Avinu bought the bechora from Esav because he wanted to take away the idea so that way we can become b'ni bechora Yisrael. Yaakov Avinu bought the bechora from Esav. We spoke about that yesterday. V'azai niskachu bechora Yisrael. So then, because the firstborns of the Egyptians was subdued, so of course we were raised up. In other words, you take away the other side, so then the beauty shows of Klal Yisrael shows, because the other side is gone. Shehem bechinas das the kedusha, shezeh bechinas kadesh li kol bechor. As the mitzvah is to be mekadesh kol bechor. That's we have the pidyon haben, right? We have the pidyon haben, and we also have the pidyon of the animal, of the chamor, right? I went one time. I'm affiliated with the organization in New York called JEP, the Jewish Education Program. So I'm on the board with them over there. So one time they had there was a firstborn donkey. So they made a pidyon chamor. I never went to such. It was so beautiful to see. They dressed up the donkey and it was beautiful. They put like jewelry on the donkey and everything. They picked him up and it was the kayin and they did the pidyon chamor. So it was wonderful to see. Unbelievable, wonderful to see that. To experience these beautiful mitzvahs. Did you ever go to one, Sasha?
No, I only seen pictures.
You didn't video one, really?
No, not yet.
Oh, I should have. If I would have known you, I would have called you over there.
I've seen the children a lot, as far as the families.
Oh yeah.
A lot of gold.
Oh yeah. But it's that's a big thing. Yeah, they do that. Yeah. All right, so this is where it comes from, right? Mm-hmm. From the parsha of Kadesh Li Kol Bechor. Okay, and that is the parsha Rishonim from the Tefillin. because it's kedusha of the bechar, and that's an aspect of tefillin, right? Because again, tefillin is reishis. We said that the tefillin shel roish is roish. Why? Because Rebbe is roish b'nei Yisrael, right? And it's tefillin. It's all connected to tefillin. Okay, and who would have ever known that if not Rav Nosson didn't teach us this, right? How would we have ever thought to understand to connect the parsha of Kadesh Lichol Bechor to the tefillin? Why is that one of the parshas? How would we have ever known that? No one, everyone knows. Okay, I know that's the parsha. Okay, why is that the parsha? How does that help us? And so again, Rav Nosson is just showing us the beauty in what we have, in to show us how beautiful everything is set up for us to help us be successful against the yetzer hara. That's really what it is. Okay, v'chol zeh, and all of this, the smiting of the firstborns. When did it happen? Haya b'chatzos halayla. It happened by b'chatzos, right? We have to get up by tikkun chatzos. We're talking about. So when did the b'chayrim Mitzrayim get knocked out? B'chatzos. K'moshe kosav kachatzos halayla ani yetzer b'seich Mitzrayim umeis kol b'char be'eretz Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu changed it to kachatzos, right? It'll be like chatzos, right? Not at chatzos. Do you remember why? Do you remember why Moshe Rabbeinu did that? No. Moshe Rabbeinu did that because he wanted to take away the opportunity from the Egyptians, that they would say that if they would have a miscalculation of what time chatzos was, so rather than saying, "Oh no, look, all the b'chayrim Mitzrayim got killed," they'll be focusing on the fact that Hashem didn't do it exactly at chatzos. To take away from the greatness of Hashem. So Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to give them that piskan peh. He didn't want to give them the opportunity to say something stupid like that. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, Kach chatzos. It'll be around chatzos. It'll be a minute before, a minute after. It was really at chatzos. It was mamash at chatzos. But again, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't say chatzos to not leave the Egyptians to have that piskan peh to say something against the Rebbeinu, so take away from that great miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did. You want to say something, Sasha?
No, just yesterday we learned there was yetzer kak b'la b'mitzrayim. The miracle was that everybody screamed at the same time. There was just one scream because they died at
that very second.
Not like
all in one split second. In one split second, a hair of a second. Everything happened in 1 second. In 1 second, Yeah, that's why we say Yeshua's Hashem Karafayim, like that blink of an eye. That's how fast it happened. How long does an eye? How many times we blink our eye every minute? A couple of hundred times, right? We blink our eye. Our eyes going up and up, right? We don't even realize it, right? We don't realize it. But this is how Hashem does things, and we have to just trust in the Rebbeinu Shalom, okay? Ki ikar bechinas tefillin, because the main point of tefillin is what? The das, the kedusha. And you fill your mind. You get the best bang for your buck of putting on your tefillin by getting up when it's still at night, while it's still dark. And if you get up while it's still dark and you connect yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then while you're doing that, you can get your best bang for your buck. And that's why when you put on the tefillin, you'll feel everything. It'll be a wonderful, much more wonderful experience. And that's really how we figure this. So let's just review a little bit what we said over here, okay? In Beis. So we said in Beis. So let's start with Aleph actually. And we said like this: if a person, we have to work on straightening our heart. We have to work on straightening our heart. Why? Because when we have the akmumius of the lave, causes us to be upset, causes us anxiety, causes us different problems. But when we straighten out the heart, we can have simcha. Okay? So then how do you get the simcha? How do you get the simcha? So you get the simcha like this. Via us getting up early in the morning, while it's still after chatzos. And what we do is we fill our minds at that time with the Sisrei Torah. We fill our minds with Avodas Hashem. We fill our minds with great things, right? And then when a person does that, so then he gets to put on the tefillin. He gets to put on his tefillin, and he gets and he'll through that he'll get, let's say, Torah. He gets Torah shebenigla. He gets Torah shebenigla. He puts on the tefillin, and then you can get tefillah. You can get tefillah, but you're not davening a tefillah for the sake of the guf. You're davening a tefillah with mesiras nefesh, with a neshama. You're davening for your neshama. You're not paying attention to all the things that the guf, that the body wants. You're paying attention to mamish, to the neshama. And when you daven that way for the neshama, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us a present that why we can get sisrei Torah. We can understand the sisrei Torah, right? We said that really the first one was when we talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu this, so then HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us Torah shebenigla. That was the Torah shebenigla, the first one, the revealed Torah, to give us the beauty and show us the appreciation in Torah shebenigla. Right? People learn Torah, sugyas in Torah, and they think, okay, I don't understand. No, to see the beauty, understand this Masorah that we have, and how beautiful the Masorah is, that we get that. And then when the person puts on the tefillin, and he davens. So then what he does is he's causing a thunder. The same way we said, why does HaKadosh Baruch Hu create thunder in the world? In order to straighten out the akmumi yeshubalev, right? But what do I do on a day it's a nice sunny day? What do you do? So that I can make thunder myself. How do I make thunder? When I'm davening, I say the words with a lot of power. So what does that do? It causes a thunder in my brain. When I say those words and I'm listening to what I'm saying, right? I hear the words that I'm saying. Hashem melech, Hashem malach, Hashem yimloich li'olam vod. Right? And I say, Paisayach es yodecha. And I'm saying these beautiful words, and it's all the Rebbeinu Shem, it's all you. And I put that in my mind, so now my mind sends things down to my heart. So it straightens out my heart. That can straighten out my heart. The words themselves can straighten out my heart. But we said, what's the importance of getting up early in the morning? Because I have to make sure that my mind is filled with good things. I don't want to send down to my heart more garbage. Right? I want the mind, I want my heart in order to get filled with good things. So I can straighten out my heart. I don't want my heart to get more crooked. Right? The heart's crooked. I want to straighten out the heart. How do I straighten out the heart? By filling my mind with Torah and Avodah. So then when I daven, and it sends the thunder to my mind, and it sends down to my heart. It sends nice whiteness down to the heart. It sounds good things down to the heart. So I don't fill my heart with more nonsense. Otherwise, the system will work anyway. But then I wind up filling my heart with more nonsense, and I don't feel the simcha. Because where did this really start? How do we know? We really started the lesson off based on how does a person know if it's how to daven? Is it before the Gezar Din or after the Gezar Din? How do I know if I'm davening that something was already decreed, or was it before it was decreed? If it was before, if I know based on how I do my mitzvah, if I do it with simcha, if I do my mitzvah with simcha, then I know that it's before the Gezar Din. I can daven in a regular way, right? I'm just reviewing days. Because we're finishing base, I just want to make a quick review of days. Okay, so then we said that the person will put on the tefillin, and the tefillin is that connection. Like we just said, the tefillin is the whole idea of kedushas habechor. That's why it says Kaddish li kol bechor is the first parsha, right? Because I want to push down the what do you call it? The information from the sitrach. I want to subdue it. So that's why Kaddish li kol bechor. What happened by Kaddish li bechor bechor? HaKadosh Baruch Hu got rid of all the other chachmas chitzonius. He got rid of that. I have to remember that because I have to clear out my mind from the chachmas chitzonius to fill it with the das of Hashem. Because then it'll send down the das of Hashem to my heart to straighten out my heart. Then I can mamash be besimcha. Then I can be besimcha. I can serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu besimcha because I have a straight heart. Like we said, L'yishrei leiv simcha. L'yishrei leiv. We're going to say it tonight, right? We're going to say it tonight in Kabbalah Shabbos, right? L'yishrei leiv simcha simchut tzadikim b'Hashem. Right? We're going to say those words. Now you understand what it means. Right? If you have a straight heart, you can have the simcha. That'll be the simcha. With the crookedness, you don't have it. How do you get it? You fill your mind this way. It's unbelievable understanding, right? Hopefully we remember that when we say the words tonight, right? No, really, we're saying the words every time. So now they're understanding what those words means. Uli yishrei leiv simcha. Uli yishrei, how do you get that yashrus of the heart? How do you straighten it out? Again, via getting rid of the chachmas chitzonius, filling it with chachmas haTorah and emunas Hashem. Via doing that, your mamish can fill that into the heart, and then you can have the yashrus of the heart. And okay, I think we'll stop. Should we go a little further?
Yes.
Should we start, Bays? We have time?
I need a
Okay.
little more sleep. I don't.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's start Gimel. Okay, we'll start Gimel. With Siyata Deshmaya. Okay. All right, you guys want more? Okay, we'll do more. Okay. So now, so the Rebbe says over here in Gimel, Ki Tefillin ein bechinas kol. Tefillin, which is the Tefillin is an idea of hearing the call. Hearing this voice of what the Omer, the thunder. Tefillin helps me connect myself to the Rabbeinu Shalom, connect, so I can, gives me to animate me in a way that I can now say those words so that they have that thunder effect on my brain, okay, on the mind. Shehu yoytze migvuras mibechinas yira. That it comes out the kol rum, that thunderous voice. The words that you say it with power. Yotze mikvuras, it goes out with gvur bechinas yira. It's yira. In other words, that's how we're saying here that the tefillin can help us. Can help us again. When does it help us the best? When we start at chatzos, when we start early in the morning. And it's beautiful. Nature's getting earlier and earlier now, right? So we get up a little earlier and earlier. It's unbelievable, right? It's such a beautiful thing. Right, and I'm always amazed over here in Eretz Yisrael also how when Nate's gets early, you have more people that show up. Where when I lived in New York, it was the opposite way. When Nate's was 7 o'clock, there's a lot of guys came to Nate's. It's 5 to 9. Yeah, but that's
is that the early when you put on tefillin? When's the ideal to put on tefillin?
You could put on your tefillin, you put on your tefillin enough time that you could daven and get up to Nate's, the Shmon Esrei at the Nate's. That's what we try to do.
Right.
That's what we do. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Zman tefillin and Kriya Shema.
What determines the earliest time to put on tallis and tefillin then? Because I noticed that's earlier than Nate's.
No,
it's Alos HaShachar. I think that's from Alos HaShachar.
Yeah. What is that?
That's the time before the different segments of time.
Okay. I'll get a lesson on that
When you
sometime.
get a little bit light on the sky.
When you see the light, it's a little higher up. By Alos HaShachar, it's a little higher up. It's coming closer to us, and at Nate's, you can actually see the light is piercing.
Got it.
Okay, in other words, it's there, but it's coming about. So when there's light around in the world, because you can't put your tefillin on at night, we said, right?
Right.
It has to be somewhat light, so it has to be from the alos. That time where if you look deep higher up, you'll see there's some little light, and then it starts to descend, and we have more light, and more light comes down.
So it's kind of like when we go the other direction, like when the sun is going down.
Yeah, that's the other way around.
Yeah,
Right.
different.
Then the sun's going up. It's leaving. Here it's coming down. Okay? V'zeh bechinas hakol kol Yaakov. And that's the idea when Yaakov Avinu went to get the blessings from Yitzchak. Huh?
Smell?
Yeah, there's like a smell of like sewage in the big.
Hey, listen, we're learning here. I have no idea.
I don't know if I can allow to daven.
Open the window.
That's weird.
Okay, I don't.
Do you want me to come see it, like, and smell it yourself? Maybe I'm crazy.
No, chas v'sholom. Yossi, you're crazy. No. Okay. V'zeh b'chines hakol kol Yaakov. So, what happened over there? Yaakov Avinu went in to get the blessings, right? His mother convinced him to get the blessings. And she put him on Esav's clothing, right? But really, was that Esav's clothing? No, we said it wasn't. That was really the clothing from Adam, or the garment from Gan Eden that Hashem gave to Adam and Chava. She had those garments, right? So she put on those garments, right? Well, it was information, right? Okay.
No,
He put on these clothes, and then what did Yitzchak Avinu say? He said, Yadayim Yedei Esav, V'akol Kol Yaakov. Your hands feel like Esav, because he's hairy. Yaakov was smooth. Esav was very hairy. But he said that Hadayim Yedei Esav, right? Those are the words he said, right? Hadayim Yedei Esav, V'akol Kol Yaakov. But your voice sounds like Yaakov. What does he mean? Because Yaakov Avinu had the call of tefillah. Yaakov Avinu had the call of tefillah. And Yaakov Avinu had this beautiful idea, this like the thunder that we're talking about, davening with tefillah, with conviction. So that's what he was saying, Hakol Kol Yaakov. Look what he says now. Reb Noson's going to say, Ki Yaakov hu bechinas tefillin. Yaakov is an aspect of tefillin. What does that mean? Yaakov is an aspect of tefillin. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'll tell you right now. It says it's brought from the Shloah Kodesh. The Shloah Kodesh brings it in Parshas Vayechi. And it says, Ki Yaakov besoid Yisrael saba lamala. Yaakov Avinu is the sod, is the secret of Yisrael. Right? We have in this world, we have the neshama is divided into many parts, but the lower part in this world is called Yaakov, and the higher part is called Yisrael. Okay, so the Shloah Kodesh is bringing beside Yisrael Saba Lamala, Hu Mahamaniach Tefillin. That's the one that putting on the tefillin. Asher al zeh remesh Hakadosh Baruch Hu Meniach Tefillin Shu Atferes from Yaakov Avinu. And there's that the Tferes.
Did we just get the time when he named Yaakov Yisrael?
He got
No, but you said something about
No. Yaakov changed his name when he was having that fight with the angel, with the Malach. So when he was successful in that fight with the angel, he said, "I'm going to give you a new name. You're going to have Yisrael."
So the tefillin is down here.
Right, but we connect up on high.
We're connecting up
on high. Right.
With Israel.
Yeah. With Yisrael, yeah.
That's what I was trying to.
No. We said from the Balatanya. The Balatanya says Shema Yisrael, right? Yeah. So he says, what are you saying? What are you saying? Shema Yisrael. You could be saying Shema yourself somewhere by yourself. What do you say? Hear, O Israel. No, so the Balatanya says in his the Mamar, unbelievable. He has a Maimar on Shema Yisrael. It's unbelievable that he says like this. He says, really, you're talking to yourself. Shema Yisrael, listen to what your neshama is telling you. Listen to your chelik neshama Yisrael that's up on high. Listen to your own neshama. Don't listen to anybody else. Listen, Shema Yisrael. Listen to what Yisrael, your chelik neshama Yisrael is telling you. What's he telling you? Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, is Elokeinu. Right? Elokim is what? That's the gematria of Teva. Right? Teva. But really, I have to understand that Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is Teva, is Hashem, is Yud, is one. Hashem Echad. Who's telling that to you? Your neshama is telling that to you. Yisrael. That's Yisrael telling it to you. Each one of us, no matter what our names are, right? We have a chelik on the neshama that's down here, which is Yaakov, and another chelik on the neshama that's up on high. There's more than that, but we're just going to focus on these right now, okay? Yaakov is down here, and Yaakov is dealing with the things of the world. So we have to wake ourselves up and give us a jolt. Shema Yisrael, listen to what Yisrael is telling you. That really it's Hashem. You think it's this guy, you think it's that guy, you think it's this and that. No, it's not. It's Hashem. Who's telling you that? Your own neshama is telling you that. Your own neshama is making that proclamation to you. The deepest part of who you are is telling that to you, yourself. It's unbelievable understanding, right?
So our soul is telling us here is.
Listen to
I'll do it again later.
No. The neshama is divided into many parts.
Right.
Okay? So the lower part of our soul is with us down here. The higher part of our soul is still up on high. Right? And each time we keep talking about connecting up on high, we're really connecting to ourselves also. which is connecting. One is the same as connecting to Hashem, because really HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a chelik elikah mimau, right? So when we're connecting to our neshama, that's the chelik elikah mimau, where Mama is connecting back to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Okay. I don't know how we got off into that, but okay, very good. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So now, so Yaakov Avinu is Tiferes, right? Because it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Yisrael b'cha ani aspar, right? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Tiferes. So we know that the Tefillin is connected to Yaakov Avinu, Tiferes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes Tiferes, right? Okay, that's it. Okay. Now, Ki Yaakov kolo michasodim ugvurais. Because what's Yaakov Avinu? He is the compilation of both chasodim and gvuras, right? Who is his grandfather? Avraham Avinu, which is the midah of chesed, right? Avraham Avinu is the midah of chesed. He was kulei chesed. Avraham Avinu was kulei chesed, all chesed. But Avraham Avinu was so much so with the midah of chesed. When you have, like we're learning in the Sefira, you can't have too much chesed. Too much chesed is no good also. It has to be with a measure, right? It has to always be with a measure, right? Like for the example I like to give is like this, if there's, you have the candy man in shul, right? So he has a whole bag of lollipops, right? So what's chesed? Chesed is he gives one lollipop to the kid, right? But if he gave all the lollipops to the kid, is that a chesed? That's not a chesed, right? The kid will get sick. He's not going to be doing a chesed. So in other words, you have to have a. I'm just using a silly example, but just to understand, chesed has to be within reason, right? You do within reason. Too much chesed is no good. What? Yeah. Everything with a midah, with a measure. Everything with a measure. Yitzchak Avinu is the midah of gevura. Yitzchak Avinu was gevura, right? Din, right? Power, right? But again, that he was cool like Gvura. Yitzchak was cool like Gvura, right? But that's also a problem. We have too much Gvura, right? So that's why we learned. That's why Avraham Avinu had to first have born to him Yishmael, because again, that extra dross that Avraham Avinu had in him of the excess chesed, he had to dispel it somewhere. So where did he go? He sent it into Yishmael. So that way Yitzchak Avinu can be born pure. And then Yitzchak Avinu has too much of this midah of gevura, so to say, okay? So where does he go? So Esav has to be born first, so he could he could deposit it into Esav. So therefore Esav is the midah of too much gevura. And Yaakov Avinu can be born pure. But Yaakov Avinu is the perfect balance of Avraham Avinu and Yitzchak Avinu. That's why he's Tferes. So Yaakov Avinu is the Tferes, because he has that perfect balance between the Chesed and the Gevura, and that's how you get Tferes, right?
Also, yeah.
What do you want to say?
I was thinking about two things coming together. Also, Dad.
That is the next level up. That's the next rung. That's Chachma Bina Das. And then we said that the Chachma Bina, right, makes the Das. And the das, that's the Chabad, right? And we said that the Chabad, the das, breaks into two. It breaks into Chesed and Gevura, and that's how you get. That's how you get that. That's how you get the Zer Anpin, the lowest seven spheres, the Chagas. That's the Zer Anpin, right? Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so Yaakov Avinu is this idea of chasadim and gevura. What does he mean? The Reb Nosson says now, V'zeh bechinas kol the Ramim, the Yaakov Avinu with his davening, like it said, Yitzchak Avinu said, Hakol kol Yaakov. What was that? He had that he felt the tefillah in Yaakov Avinu. He saw that Yaakov Avinu was a person that was davening, that was affecting the mind. He realized that. Yitzchak Avinu sensed that. He would look at this person. Could this be Esav? Let me feel you. He said, I can't be, I don't understand this. Esav, this is why you came? I was hoping all my life that you would come to be this. And this is really what you became? Unbelievable, right? Yitzchak Avinu kept Esav very close, right? Because he was trying to bring him back. Oh, if Esav would have done tshuva, what he could have accomplished, all right? What he could have accomplished, right? But he didn't. But Yitzchak Avinu was mamash amazed. He said, "Akol kol Yaakov." But I want to feel. Why? But you are Asa. But you are Asa. And he said, I smell the Reyach HaGan Eden. How was it? Because we said, where did the clothes come from?
Gan Eden.
They came from Gan Eden. That's why he was smelled the Reyach HaGan Eden. Okay. Hayotze Migvuros, right? Which comes from the idea of Gvuros. V'tzarech l'shatef ha'gvuros, and you have to always partner up the Gvura b'chasadim. You have to partner up the Gvura with chasadim. You can't have too much chesed. You can't have too much Gvura. You have to make them, you have to be shutfim. They have to be partners. 50-50. Right? Not 51, 49. They have to be 50-50. You partner them up, equal partners. Okay, v'zeh bechinas kol Yaakov. Shehu zera shel Yitzchak, because he's from the seed of Yitzchak Avinu. Shehu kolo mechasadim u'gevuros, which is coming from chasadim and gevura. Because again, Yitzchak Avinu came from Abraham Avinu, which is the midah of Chesed. So Yitzchak Avinu came from the midah of Chesed, but he was the midah of gevura. But now Yaakov Avinu accepted from Yitzchak. He became who Yaakov Avinu was from the seed of Yitzchak. And wait, what was that? That was that perfect balance. Yitzchak gave him the perfect balance from Avram and Yitzchak. He gave him from his father and his grandfather. All right? Kayadua, as it's known, V'amevin Yavin. I'm trying to explain it to the best that I can. Does it make sense? Do you have any questions on this? This is pretty deep stuff.
So one question I have, so you have Chabad, which leads to Dat, and then you have
Chagat, which is Chesed, Gvura, Tveres, Netzach, Hoyd, Yisrael, and Malchus.
You went too fast. But you have Dat, and then that breaks out into Tiferet and No.
Das breaks into Chesed and Gevura. The two turn in,
right.
the three turn into four. We said that's the shin. Right, the shin of the three prongs. One more time. The shin of the three prongs. One of the teachings we had was that's the Chabad, Chesed, Chochma Bina Das. But then we said that why do we have the four? Because the Das breaks into two, Chesed and Gevura, and then you have Chochma Bina, Chesed, Gevura, and that's why you have the shin of the four.
Okay, what I'm thinking about, there's those two that make Yisrael, the Chesed and Gevura.
Yes.
That also makes Yisrael. Because that's...
Yeah, that's Yaakov. Yaakov is Yisrael. It's one and the same. Yaakov and Yisrael is one and the same. Okay.
But there isn't something after those two, like when you have...
There is something from those two. Then the Chesed and the Gevura that comes from Das, right? When you take the two, when you take Chesed and Gevura and put them together, it gives you then Tferes. Tferes then breaks into the next two, which is Netzach and Hoyd.
Right.
Netzach and Hoyd come together, and it gives you Yesod. Yesod is Malchus, which encompasses all of the spheres.
Right. But what I was trying to wonder about is that you have the Chesed and Gevura, which also made Yaakov, Yisrael. And I was wondering if there was a piece like that below, but there isn't.
There is a piece, the Tferes breaks into the next to Yaakov Avinu, comes into Netzach and Hoyd.
Okay. Oh, right.
They're sets of three. They're like, a segel is three dots, right? So there are three sets of three. So the first, the top one is Chochma Bina, which is then the dot is Das, and that Das breaks into the next lower two, which is Chesed Gevura, which then makes Tferes. Tferes breaks into Netzach Od.
So is Tiferet in the middle then?
Yeah, Tferes in the middle,
Okay.
Tferes is in the middle, and Tferes, Das is in the middle, Tferes is in the middle, and Yesod is in the middle.
Okay, so does Tiferet in some way connect with Yaakov?
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Oh, that's what
Yaakov is the midah of Tferes. He is Tferes. He's the one that personifies.
So what I'm saying is accurate.
Yes,
I just didn't realize what I was doing.
Okay, this goes back like when we do the Spizin, right? On Sukkot, right? When we do the Spizin, right? So we invite in Avraham Avinu, which is the midah. Then we invite in Yitzchak Avinu, right? Then we invite in Yaakov Avinu, right? Because those are the No. Those are the people that personified those midos. That's why they're associated with those midos,
Okay.
with those attributes. How do you say midos in English? Attributes. Attributes. Okay.
So I didn't realize that
Quality.
Tiferet.
Qualities, attributes.
Qualities.
I didn't
attributes.
realize that Tiferet, which is in the middle,
Yeah.
represents Yaakov.
Okay. Well, there you do.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying
Okay.
to.
Okay.
yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Amazing.
Okay. So let's see now. Baal Cain. We can go on further. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's-
okay.
'cause
All
we don't
right.
wanna
It's
break it
okay
up
with
in the
me.
middle here.
Baal Cain, and therefore, because the tefillin that we keep saying that they are the ra'amim, those are the thunder that causes the action in the mind to send down to the heart, right? Which and what is that? That is the mixture between chesed and gevura. Betchila manichin tefillah shel yad. But first we put on the tefillah shel yad, which is tefillin. Tefillah is tefillin. Tefillah shel yad. We put on the tefillin shel yad first. Right? We put it on where do we put it on? The side of Gevura. We put it on the side of Gevura. That's where we put the tefillin on, which is on the left side. We put it on the left arm. Because again, we're trying to subdue the Gevura. So I need the tefillin. And we said that the little yud has to go against my heart. Why does the yud go according to my heart? Because the yud is divided up into three. Remember we said that? The yud, right? The little yud, has a little piece that goes up. There's a little piece that goes down. There's a little flat line, right? Right. So we said that that's connected to the three things that I have to do every day, right? I have to have my conversation with a tzaddik, right? That's learning the teachings of the tzaddik, or actually have a conversation with the tzaddikim. I have to have a conversation min dain l'dain, right? I have to talk to a friend and have a heartfelt conversation to share the nekuda kedusha of that day. Right? And then we said the last one was that I have to talk beinay vein kainai. I have to speak between myself and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is beininus. Right? Okay, that's the three. So I put that on, and then we said that what is the yud also? Because there's chachma ilah, right? There's the upper chachma, the upper wisdom, which is Torah, avoda, and Yirah Shemayim, and Havas Hashem. That's the chachma ilah. And then we have the chachma tata. That's why the yud goes up and it also goes down. Right, and that's why the Dalet also has the three parts in it, and we said the Aleph is the same thing. Aleph has one going up, down. It has the middle, right? The Dalet also goes up. There's a flat part and it goes down. All the same. Yud is the same. Did you know that? Yeah, you can connect an Aleph and a Dalet and a Yud all together, right? Unbelievable, right?
Is there a word that makes up?
What?
Is there a word that makes up?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so you take that little yud from the tefillin shel yad, and you put that against your heart. Mm-hmm. The tefillin has to be facing against. And now we understand why the tefillin has to go against the heart. You don't just put it out on the other side. You want it to be against the heart, right? Right. We have to put it. What do we say? We say. V'samtem alavavechem al nafsechem ukshatem oisem liyos al yetchem, right on your hands. But the tafa is beineinechem. You put it on the mind, between the eyes, on top, not between the eyes, like the Subduing did. Okay. V'achakach shel rosh, and then I put on the tefillin shel rosh. Right. So we put on. So the question is, why would I be putting on the yad first? Maybe I would think I should put on the tefillin shel rosh first, right? But no, we put on the yad first, and then we put on the rosh. Ki tefillin shel yad manichim bezroya small, because on the tefillin shel yad I put it on my left arm. Shehu bechinas gvuras, which is the aspect of gvura, left arm. Right, our body is designed that way also with the spheres. Right, we have the head is the Chabad. Then we have the Chesed is the right arm. The left arm is Gvura. The body itself, the torso is Tferes. The right leg is Netzach. The left leg is Haid. The bris Kaidish is Yisai. Right? It all works the same thing. So the body works in the spheres also. All works in spheres. All works in the spheres, okay? Shemisham yaitzi kol bechinas rom gevuras, and that's where the kol goes out. Rom gevuras, the thunder, the power of the gevura, okay? V'hai kola ara ba'ove mitra, and that voice goes and it touches the rain clouds. But Ave Mitra, the Ave Mitra are the rain clouds. Where are the rain clouds? In the mind. In the mind. And it has to send down the rain of what we put into the mind, what we filled into the mind, and where it goes into the heart. It's unbelievable what we're learning, right? Really to understand how this whole system works and how tefillin is working to help us really straighten out our hearts, so we can live a life mole simcha, right? Filled with joy. Okay? Shezeh ikar bechinas tefillin. That's the main point of the tefillin, is to affect the mind, the Ave Mitra. Okay, bechinas moichin, which is the mind. Bechinas be'er mayim chayim v'noizle min levoinon. The be'er mayim chayim, the well, the living, the well of the spring water. The be'er, the spring, the how do you say be'er? Is a spring well, a well? No. A well. The be'er mayim chayim, the be'er of the mayim chayim. What's mayim chayim? That's Torah. Right? What's the Torah? Ain't Torah, ain't mayim ela Torah. Chazal tell us, right? Ain't mayim ela Torah. I'll tell you a quick, cute story. I was working in camp, Magen Avraham. I was a director of some camps a couple of summers many years ago. So one day, the learning director, he sends me a message on the radio. We had these walkie-talkies. We have no water. We have no water. So I said to him, we have no water. Why are you telling me? It's your fault. Ein mayim ela Torah. You're the learning director, so there's no worry. Go get the guys to learn some Torah. You get water. He told me that was the best musar he ever heard in his life. He said that was the best musar anyone ever gave him. No, it was unbelievable. Wow. Yeah. Listen, you want water, so learn Torah. You get water. Yeah. Okay. Min levona de meicha. Min levona de meicha. The whiteness of the mind. Levona de mind. Look at these words. Levona de mocha. The whiteness of the mind. Shezeh bechinas tefillin ki yadua. That's the tefillin. What are we saying? That's the white. What's whiteness? White's purity. The whiteness of the mind. That means keep the mind white, pure. White is associated with purity, right? So keep the mind pure, fill the mind with good things. More Torah, more Isbaidus, more Sichas Chaverim, more mitzvahs, more good things, right? More good words to people, right? You fill your mind with all of that, and that's whitening the mind. Okay, and that's why, so you would think now, in the parsha of Kol, that we said of Kadesh Li B'cha, we talk about chametz in there. Right? What does chametz? Wait a second. What does chametz have to do with my tefillin? Why is the parsha of chametz in my tefillin? What is it doing there? What's it doing there? Why do I need to talk about chametz in my tefillin? Oh, because I have to remember I can't put the chametz in my mind. Don't fill your mind with chametz. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what we said, that's the reed that attacks the ches, and it turns it into the hay. And that's how you break it, the ches, and make it into a hay, and that's how you get the matzah. That's how it means when we fix our minds. That's the main point of tefillin, is to fix our minds, to set our minds straight. That's the whole point of tefillin, to set our minds straight. So let's see if we can finish Gimel now. And therefore we have the 4 parshiyas to the tefillin. Why? Again, it's 4, right? Because what did we say? We have to fill the mind with the right chachma, right? Which then we discern the chachma. We're using the bina, right? Using the bina, and then the chachma and the bina have the das, which turn into chesed and gvur, turn into 4, right? That's the shin of the 4 parshiyas. Right, it starts out with 3. That's why we have a shin of 3. That's why we have 3 parts of tefillin. Right, what's the 3 parts of tefillin? The tefillin shal rosh, the dalid, and the tefillin shal yad. 3 parts of tefillin. Right, the same idea. But you need to take the 3 and turn it into the 4. Right, that's why you have 4 parshiyas in the tefillin. Okay, ki tzarich l'sakein hamayach bechinas ave mitra, because we have to fix the mind and we have to make the mind cause rain. The mind has to rain. It has to be clouds, and it has to be able to cause rain to come down. But the rain shouldn't be chometz. Vigam tzarich lishma es hayira. A person has to watch his yira, because we say we're not supposed to have yiras hanefulas, right? We're not supposed to be scared of silly things. We're supposed to be scared we're supposed to be scared of the Rabbeinu Shalom, because we know it all came from the Rabbeinu Shalom, and recognize it's all Hashem. Okay? Umaycha chachma v'yira hu das ha-mosur lalev. So we're saying here the mayach is chachma and yira, because really bina is on the same side as gvura, which is bina can also be yira. Okay, we can also can exchange bina for yira. Okay, so you can have chachma and yira, and then you get, and that's the ma'isa that gives down to the lev. It's ma'isa to the lev. It gives over to the heart. Okay, ubina liba. We know that bina is really the heart. Whenever it says bina, it's talking about the heart, really, because really, what is bina? The heart. The heart discerns. The heart discerns. Others say that the heart is really the mind. Really, the mind, because really the mind thinks. But either it's one of the same. And then the voice comes out, which is that perfect mixture of the chesed and the gevura. We have to be mishatev the gevura. We have to partner up the gevura with the chesed. In other words, I need the yiras Hashem to be in my mind in order to send that into my heart, in order to have me, again, to straighten out the crookedness of the heart so we can have a yishrei leiv. Yishrei leiv simcha. That's the whole point over here. Okay? Begvur bechasadim v'zeh bechinas arba parshi shebetzfilin she'em bechinas chachma bina chesed and gevura. The 4 parts of the tefillin, the 4 parshiyas, the shin of the 4 prongs. It's really one of the same thing, which is really chachma bina chesed and gevura. That's why there's 4 parshiyas. The same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same system. It's just Rav Nosson showing us in a different light. That's all it is. Hainu Kenal. It's all betfillin, and it's all misgal. It's all revealed in the 4 parshiyas of the tefillin. So I want to wish everyone a good Shabbos, and thank you everyone for joining. Kol Tuv.